Hello and welcome to Quiz Class. I'm your host, Ellen, and today we have 100 questions on general knowledge. Make sure you keep score so you can tell us how well you did with our Quiz Class awards. And of course, tell us the answer to the bonus question at the end. So let's begin. What travel trend became popular with young adults in the 1980s? Backpacking through Europe, luxury cruises, or business-only travel? Backpacking through Europe. What airline introduced the frequent flyer program in 1981? American Airlines, Pan Am, or British Airways? American Airlines. Where was the first World Series game on the West Coast? San Francisco, Seattle, or Los Angeles? Los Angeles. What caused baseball attendance to drop in the 1950s? Old stadiums and suburban shift, more fan loyalty, or exciting play? Old stadiums and suburban shift. The Dodgers and Giants moved to which state in 1958? Florida, Texas, or California? California. Artificial turf in new stadiums increased what? Pitching power, speed, or fan seating? Speed. What 1994 change added an extra playoff team? Doubleheader rule, wild card, or pitch clock? Wild card. The 2022 playoff format included how many wild cards? 2, 4, or 3? Three. What major source of baseball revenue grew by the 1990s? Ticket sales, television, or concessions? Television. We're on question 10. The 1994 strike caused what major event? Expansion delay, World Series cancellation, or new stadiums? World Series cancellation. Where is the winter wheat belt mainly located? Kansas and Oklahoma, Texas and Florida, or Oregon and Idaho? Kansas and Oklahoma. Which U.S. region is famous for citrus fruit farming? Florida and Texas, Ohio and Illinois, or Oregon and Washington? Florida and Texas. The Central Valley of California is famous for what? Fruits and vegetables, rice and corn, or coffee and cocoa? Fruits and vegetables. The dairy belt is found mainly in which areas? New England and Great Lakes, Texas and California, or Arizona and Nevada? New England and the Great Lakes. What livestock dominates the Great Plains economy? Beef cattle, goats, or reindeer? Beef cattle. Which crop is mostly exported from the Corn Belt? Soybeans, potatoes, or coffee? And the answer is soybeans. Let's move on to question 17. Which country shares the Rio Grande River with the United States? Mexico, Canada, or Guatemala? Mexico. What is the Trans-Alaska Pipeline mainly used for? Transporting water, transporting oil, or transporting coal? Transporting oil. Which dam is located on the Columbia River? Grand Coulee Dam, Hoover Dam, or Fort Peck Dam? The Grand Coulee Dam. Question 20. What energy source replaced coal in the 20th century? Wind, oil, or hydropower? Oil. Which U.S. state has become a net oil importer? California, Texas, or Oklahoma? California. Which U.S. president installed solar panels on the White House? Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, or John F. Kennedy? And the answer is Jimmy Carter. Which area supplies most of Canada's oil and gas? Quebec, Ontario, or Alberta? Alberta. Where is Hoover Dam located? On the Colorado River, on the Missouri River, or on the Columbia River? On the Colorado River. Which livestock is least significant in North American diets? Cattle, sheep, or pigs? Sheep. Moving along, which energy source supplies only a tiny fraction of North American power? Solar and wind, coal, or natural gas? Solar and wind. What major economic issue has automation created? Technological unemployment, labor surplus, or agricultural shortage? Technological unemployment. Which three tribes first settled in England? Franks, Picts, and Scots? Angles, Saxons, and Jutes, or Celts, Britons, and Gauls? Angles, Saxons, and Jutes. Who invited Germanic mercenaries to defend his kingdom? A Roman general, a British king, or a Northumbrian noble? A British king. We've reached question 30. Which suffix often marks early trading towns? Which, ham, or fort? Which? Who was a Northumbrian king killed by Penda in 641? Oswald, Edwin, or Ethelfrith? Oswald. Which Northumbrian king, restored Christianity with Celtic missionaries? Egfrith, Oswald, or Edwin? Oswald. Which title was used for local royal administrators? Sheriff, Thegn, or Ealdorman? Ealdorman. Who corresponded with Charlemagne as an equal ruler? Alfred the Great, Offa of Mercia, or Aethelbert of Kent? Offa of Mercia. Which scholar from York later taught in Charlemagne's court? Alcuin, Bede, or Aldhelm? Alcuin. What technology rescued the music industry in the 1980s? Vinyl remastering, cassette duplication, or digital recording? Digital recording. Which band represented alternative rock success in the 1980s? REM, Metallica, or Coldplay? REM. Which 1990s band made alternative rock mainstream? Oasis, Nirvana, or Radiohead? Nirvana. Tell us in the comments if you were a fan or still are. What 1985 event showcased global rock charity concerts? Woodstock, Coachella, or Live Aid? Who can forget Live Aid? Question 40. What slogan did MTV promote through satellite expansion? One World, One Music, Music for Everyone, or Global Sound Connection? One World, One Music. Which Canadian artist became a 1990s global superstar? Alanis Morissette, Shania Twain, or Celine Dion? Celine Dion. Which music scene merged with indie rock in Britain? Rave scene, grunge, or punk? The rave scene. Which band mixed dance and rock in the 1990s? Green Day, Blur, or Primal Scream? Primal Scream. Which industry sector grew while CD sales fell? Live music, radio broadcasting, or record stores? Live music. Which classic band's tours topped earnings charts? The Rolling Stones, Coldplay, or U2? The Rolling Stones. What device revived focus on individual songs? iPod, Walkman, or the CD player? The iPod. Which festival format returned in the 2000s? Package show, solo concerts, or virtual streams? Package show. Which website helped Arctic Monkeys build a fan base? Facebook, SoundCloud, or MySpace? MySpace. What format shift hurt radio and record stores? Cassette, MP3, or vinyl? The MP3. And we have reached our halfway point. Tell us how you're doing so far. Which musical revived ABBA songs as a stage and film hit? Mamma Mia, Grease, or Fame? Mamma Mia. Which TV show exemplified manufactured music? Pop Idol, The Voice, or American Bandstand? Pop Idol. What change blurred distinctions between music roles? Industry strikes, technological developments, or label monopolies? Technological developments. What best describes rock's enduring cultural role? Democratic mass medium, elite art form, or underground movement? Democratic mass medium. When did television become public in the US? The 1950s, the 1930s, or the 1940s? And lock in your answer, the 1940s. What major global event shaped 1950s TV news? The Great Depression, the Cold War, or World War II? The Cold War. What movement was ignored by 1950s primetime TV? The Civil Rights Movement, space exploration, or labor unions? The Civil Rights Movement. Question 57. Which event caused 14 days of TV coverage? The Watergate scandal, the Korean War, or the Cuban Missile Crisis? The Cuban Missile Crisis. Whose assassination had 4 days of TV coverage? John F. Kennedy, Robert Kennedy, or Martin Luther King Jr.? John F. Kennedy. What 1969 event drew live global TV coverage? Woodstock, the moon landing, or Vietnam ceasefire? The moon landing. Question 60. Which war was shown daily on U.S. television? The Korean War, World War II, or the Vietnam War? The Vietnam War. What was That Girl mainly about? Life on a farm, married couples' struggles, or single woman's city life? A single woman's city life. The Mary Tyler Moore Show began in which year? 1980, 1970, or 1960? (1970). Which show had one of the first black leads? Bonanza, Julia, or Gunsmoke? Julia. What show captured 1960s counterculture humor? Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In, Hee Haw, or The Ed Sullivan Show? Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In. When did 60 Minutes first air? 1982, 1968, or 1999? 1968. What audience did CBS begin targeting in 1970? Young adults, senior citizens, or rural farmers? Young adults. Which show best represented relevance TV? Hogan's Heroes, All in the Family, or Green Acres? And that would be All in the Family. Who played Archie Bunker on the show All in the Family? Rob Reiner, Carol O'Connor, or Alan Alda? Carol O'Connor. What British sitcom inspired All in the Family? Steptoe and Son, Till Death Do Us Part, or Fawlty Towers? Till Death Do Us Part. Which actress portrayed Edith Bunker? Bea Arthur, Sally Struthers, or Jean Stapleton? And it is Jean Stapleton. What show portrayed a single working woman journalist? Rhoda, The Mary Tyler Moore Show, or That Girl? The Mary Tyler Moore Show. Which spin-off featured Rhoda Morgenstern? Maude, Good Times, or Rhoda? Rhoda. What sitcom was about a divorced woman in 1975? Alice, One Day at a Time, or The Jeffersons? One Day at a Time. What type of show was MASH? A documentary, comedy drama, or game show? Comedy drama. Which show inspired the spin-off Maude? The Mary Tyler Moore Show, MASH, or All in the Family? All in the Family. What style carried over from the 1960s into 1970s fashion? Disco glam, the hippie style, or punk rock? Hippie style. What material became the signature fabric of the 1970s? Polyester, denim, or wool? Polyester. What sports show debuted in 1970? The Wide World of Sports, Monday Night Football, or Super Bowl Replay? Monday Night Football. Which network launched Monday Night Football? NBC, ABC, or CBS? ABC. And we've reached question 80. What 1971 documentary sparked government investigation? Inside Vietnam, The Selling of the Pentagon, or Hearts and Minds? The Selling of the Pentagon. When was cigarette advertising banned on television? 1989, 1971, or 2002? 1971. What kind of display do most smartphones use? LED, LCD, or OLED? LCD. Which OS did Google base Android on? Windows, Unix, or Linux? Linux or Linux. In what year was Android Inc. founded? 2003, 1988, or 2017? 2003. And moving on, what does 3G mobile technology mainly enable? Faster data transfer, better voice clarity, or longer battery life? Faster data transfer. What percentage of mobile devices ran Android by 2020? About 50%, 75%, or about 90%? About 75%. What feature lets smartphones connect without cellular data? GPS, Wi-Fi, or NFC? Wi-Fi. What classic novel inspired Apple's 1984 ad theme? Brave New World, 1984 by George Orwell, or Fahrenheit 451? 1984 by George Orwell. Which product was launched after Apple's 1984 ad? The Macintosh, the iPhone, or the iPod? Macintosh. Who appeared in Pepsi's Gladiator commercial? Beyonce, Pink, Britney Spears, Shakira, Madonna, Lady Gaga, or Mariah Carey, Rihanna, and Janet Jackson? Beyonce, Pink, and Britney Spears. Who starred in Old Spice's The Man Your Man Could Smell Like? Isaiah Mustafa, Dwayne Johnson, or Terry Crews? Isaiah Mustafa. What made Old Spice's 2010 campaign stand out? Humorous, fast-paced storytelling, celebrity endorsements, or product-focused details? Humorous, fast-paced storytelling. Which celebrity appeared in Snickers' 2010 Super Bowl ad? Morgan Freeman, Betty White, or Julia Roberts? Betty White. What was the slogan of Snickers' 2010 campaign? You're not you when you're hungry, stay energized, or grab a bite, feel right? You're not you when you're hungry. The prairie dress style of the 1970s was inspired by what era? The 1920s, the Victorian era, or medieval times? The Victorian era. A few more to go. What type of fashion dominated evening wear in the disco era? Wool and tweed, sequins and satin, or denim and linen? Sequins and satin. What movie character inspired layered menswear fashion in 1977? Sandy Olsen, Annie Hall, or Princess Leia? Annie Hall. Who won the 1986 Masters Tournament at age 46? Jack Nicklaus, Greg Norman, or Steve Ballesteros? Jack Nicklaus. What brand popularized metal woods in the 1980s? Callaway, TaylorMade, or Titleist? TaylorMade. And we are at question 100. What was a common golf fashion trend in the 1980s? Wide brim hats, bright sweaters and plaid pants, or all black outfits? Bright sweaters and plaid pants. And for our bonus question, which destination became a major tourist hotspot in the 1980s? Let us know the answer in the comments and, of course, how well you did with our Quiz Class Einstein Awards. Thanks for playing, and we will see you next time. Bye bye.